about ready to come in and replace the initial eye wall, the ring around that first circle, the first ring there. And what we're going to see, I think, is a sort of a continuation of that process, which might sort of suggest that the intensity is leveled off or maxed out, at least for now. But still, damaging winds are likely occurring in that leading edge, which is really only a few hours away. Well, I would say 6 to 8 hours away from Cabo.
As this image plays, you can see the tip of Baja coming into play there.
Yeah, there it is, right up here. You can see it right there. That's Baja, and it is coming, and it is making an A train toward the region. Let's have a look at some of the wave heights forecasts that we expect tonight.
They're very, very strong, and this is somewhat of a mountainous area. The topography, unfortunately, may make things worse.
Yeah, the topography could do a couple of things. Enhance rainfall on one sense, and also it might, in a good way, weaken the circulation a little bit because of the interaction with land. But before it gets there, it's going to produce huge waves, and they're going to be large, destructive waves. The ocean and marine environment will be very hazardous, obviously, and we'll have storm surge and all the typical hazards that come along with basically a landfalling tropical cyclone.
We're looking at the future cast of the radar right now, and this model is showing the eye offshore, but really when we talk about the cone, we have to watch closely because things can change, and it's a pretty widespread area.
Right. I mean, it could really wiggle back and forth in here. So, I mean, this is the eye wall, and if that gets over Cabo, they would experience sustained hurricane force winds, probably somewhere in the order of 100 miles per hour or so. But you know what? There is a lot of flow, onshore flow, that will be coming in to that region. As the hurricane kind of moves away in that direction, like that, then we're going to start to see those southwesterly winds potentially bring some significant storm surge inland as well.
We're looking at the day go through Monday into Monday night, and they're still not over for Baja, because then we go into Tuesday. It weakens in intensity, but still a widespread area of rain. And then we're going to talk about the threat for the southwest that comes out of this.
That's exactly right, because what we're seeing is this thing kind of paralleling the Baja coast there, and obviously bringing the direct impacts with it. But as it moves northward, you might think, okay, well, that's good news. It weakens to a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm by late week. It is still likely to bring significant moisture and rainfall into the southwest, and here's the big picture with that.
It's unbelievable, just a week after a huge moisture event from Norbert and from flow from the Gulf of Mexico. Now we're looking at dangerous flooding again for the same place.
Yeah, it's very possible, if not likely. Stay tuned for all the latest. A lot of tropical moisture getting into the southwest again.
Oh boy. Well, thank you, Dr. Postel, for joining us. Mark, back to you.
Thanks, guys. Always enlightening hearing about the tropics this time of year, that's for sure. Of course, it's also an NFL Sunday, and so let's go through some of the forecasts for your games, including in Minneapolis. You wait all year for your forecast like this one, right? Sunshine near 60, Patriots at Vikings. That is going to be a great football matchup and great football weather. In Charlotte, we've got the Detroit Lions coming into town. I'm a little bit mad at them, being a Giants fan. They beat us to a pulp last week. In any case, cloudy skies, near 70 degrees, so still comfortable. No sun beating down on the fans or the players. As for Tampa, hit or miss thunderstorms. Not a washout game, but if you don't see a storm during the game, you might have one on the drive home, and that could certainly slow things down. So keep that in mind for your travel plans. We're also looking at Denver. It's going to be a warm one for you. Close to 80 degrees. Wind's not too much of a factor, but full sunshine. We are watching storms in the south and the tropics. Details next.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 86. Chance of rain 40%. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies with scattered thunderstorms during the evening. Low 77. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Rain and thunderstorms are intruding on Sunday afternoon plans in parts of the south. See where flooding problems could pop up and if things will dry out for the start of the new week.
And we're also watching the West Coast and specifically the Southwest, where Hurricane Odile has rapidly intensified into a Category 4 hurricane.
Yeah, that's right. And flash flooding is just one of the dangers really for Baja California tonight and tomorrow. And Odile's tropical moisture will put the American Southwest in the crosshairs again for more devastating flooding, and I'll show you which areas are most at risk.
Who can forget this terrifying video of a van being swept away by floodwaters when moisture from Hurricane Norbert swamped Las Vegas last week? You'll see that dramatic rescue and hear from the terrified couple who cheated death right here, right now on Weather Center Live. Good Sunday to you. Welcome to Weather Center Live. I'm Bonnie Schneider. How's the weather treating you this weekend? Well, Facebook or tweet me at Bonnie Weather and let me know. The hashtag is your weekend. Speaking of which, we want to show you a picture. This is from Marty Michaud of Mooseham Lake in Shapley, Maine. I think I see some colors on those leaves there. Thanks for sending us that picture via Facebook. Well, now back to our top story. Hurricane Odile. It's a Category 4 and it's expected to unleash damaging winds, life-threatening flash flooding and storm surge on southern Baja California tonight into tomorrow. Now, the popular vacation destination of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico is included in the threat area. I want to bring in Mark Elliott and hurricane specialist Dr. Greg Costell, who are in the lab. Guys, I know Odile is really big trouble, not only for that region, but also for the American Southwest.
Yeah, Cabo might be in the crosshairs, but some of the residual tropical effects could get into the Southwest. And if we see flooding like we had from Norbert, I mean, twice in a week, this is brutal for the Southwest.
Yeah, nature's stuck on repeat in a way. We were talking about that earlier, Mark. I mean, it's like, the tropics have seemed to lock itself in a mode that replays itself. Last week, we saw a tropical system out here bring flooding rains to the Southwest. Look what we've got now.
And despite the fact that we had this storm, Norbert, over those same areas as we have Odile, it didn't churn up enough cold water to squash this down. This is still a very powerful hurricane.
Yeah, it is. We've got a Category 4 hurricane right now with big winds, obviously, moving northwest at about 14 miles per hour. And it's really only about 200 miles away. The center is from Cabo. So, you know what? It's not going to be long before the center is at closest approach to Cabo, bringing perhaps the eye wall over it.
And despite the fact that it's a really tight storm and kind of a small hurricane, the tropical storm force winds extend a good distance, and that's why these hurricane warnings are out already. I mean, you got to rush to completion if you're not boarded up and ready for this thing.
Time to do it now. It's coming, and very bad weather is coming your way. And, Mark, we were looking at that before. This picture right here in the infrared shot looks like it's got two eyes. It doesn't. That's just a cloud manifestation of I don't know what we're seeing. There's one eye there, and this is a system that is chugging its way straight to the southern tip of Baja.
And so the high-res model is doing a decent job at kind of modeling where that center's going to go and that counterclockwise spin associated with the storm.
That's exactly right. And on a track like that, keep in mind the counterclockwise circulation rate will bring a lot of water that way. So there could be significant storm surge. And also, they're going to get really close to the eye wall, which is right here. That may pass very close to Cabo. And if it does, they could get hurricane force winds over 100 miles per hour there.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of rain. And we're already seeing that kind of tropical feed getting sent up north into the Southwest.
Yeah, that's going to be the theme, I think, probably beginning as early as Tuesday. The system itself is going to be weakening enough so that in terms of direct wind impacts or storm surge impacts, that won't be obviously a big problem up here. We will likely see some big waves and rip currents in Southern California midweek. But as you mentioned, Mark, the moisture is going to be a big deal too. And if you can see, track out here, the odds of tropical storm force winds, they're really small here in Northern California. So that's not the issue. It's the moisture.
Yeah, I mean, between the land interaction and the cold water, these storms fall apart, but their moisture keeps going.
Exactly right. And this is what we have to worry about, is the possibility for significant moisture, very high atmospheric water content moving into the Southwest, maybe some dangerous flooding ahead this week.
And so, Bonnie, that's the big news and what we're following in the Southwest. Over to you.
Absolutely. Odile presents a major threat to the Southwest as the region continues to clean up from devastating floods last week. Look at what happened to the metro areas around Las Vegas and Phoenix as rainfall records were broken and water swamped the region. Those pictures are just heartbreaking. Let's hope that that doesn't happen again, but we need to let you know that there is a threat for more flooding in the Southwest, dangerous flooding across the region. And as you can see, we were talking, you saw the pictures earlier, that was because of Norbert as well as moisture from the Gulf. And this storm that we're watching now, Odile, is going to take a similar track. So that's one of the concerns. Now, looking at the the water vapor imagery, we can see that we have dry air in place, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way, because there's Odile. And boy, lots of moist air coming on the way. That's the last thing that we want for the Southwest. And at the mid-levels of the atmosphere, you can see that flow of moisture just sweeping on into the region. And as we put this map into motion, you'll see by the time we get to tomorrow, and especially I think for Tuesday, we'll begin for a dangerous flood threat for areas into Arizona, as well as Nevada. Look at this. Scattered showers, thunderstorms, the flood threat continues. It'll be Tuesday and Wednesday as well. In terms of Wednesday, the storms become more intense as well for southern Arizona, like Tucson. So this is a very populated area that unfortunately had to deal with the same thing just a week ago. The threat continues for Thursday. The chance for thunderstorms for Las Vegas is strong, above 50%. And that goes all the way Wednesday, Thursday into Friday. Temperatures just slightly lower at 88 degrees. What about Tucson? Wednesday, not as strong of a threat, but then you get into Thursday and Friday, and certainly we are running that risk. There'll be hit or miss storms mainly on Wednesday, but it doesn't take that much to cause flooding. You saw those pictures of what rain could do last time. Let's hope this isn't as bad, but it's very important, Mark, that everyone stays on alert. Even though the storm Odile isn't moving in, its moisture will.
Yeah, and turn around, don't drown. We'll say that again and again to try to stop people from putting themselves in danger. We're also watching the Southeast. Some storms trying to pop there today, and they are trying to stick around into the work week as well. We'll show you what time they'll move into your town and all about your Monday commute.
Okay, Patrick, one more stop. Let's go base, shark, blitz. Base, shark, blitz.
When the game's on the line.
Okay, this is for the game.
The NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
Block like this, on. Abort, he's keeping it.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
Hi. Are we still on for tomorrow?
Quick look at the weather. Nice today, beautiful tomorrow.
Tomorrow is full of promise.
We can come back tomorrow.
And we promise to keep it that way. Driven to preserve the environment, CSX moves a ton of freight nearly 450 miles on 1 gallon of fuel.
What a day.
Can't wait till tomorrow.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a hurricane.
And just total chaos.
If you think you've seen it all, look again.
You've got to be kidding me.
A new original series, Hurricane 360, Mondays at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 86. Chance of rain 40%. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies with scattered thunderstorms during the evening. Low 77. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tonight, the Weather Channel asks, so you think you'd survive a wildfire?
Oh my God, here he goes!
So you think you'd survive tonight at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster. Am I missing a deadline? Will I get there in time? Am I going too fast? Did I close the garage door? Stay in your lane. I don't think I sent that email. I should make a reservation. I thought it was clear. Okay, brake. I didn't see that coming.
Its instinct to protect leaves you free to drive. Lease the Infiniti Q50 for $339 a month. Visit your local Infiniti retailer.
Fact. Every time you take Advil, you're taking the medicine doctors recommend most for joint pain. More than the medicine in Aleve or Tylenol, the medicine in Advil is the #1 doctor recommendation for joint pain. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 tires, you get the 4th tire free, instantly. Plus, get up to $70 off select Cooper tires. Trust the boys to get you there.
Grab your umbrellas in the southeast. A soggy day's in store for you as we look live in Charleston, South Carolina. This is the College of Charleston. Look at that Spanish moss. Pretty picture, but heavy rains are expected, and there's a flash flood watch. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s there. Well, it's not just Charleston. We've been watching the Carolinas as well as parts of Georgia facing stormy conditions. We had it through the weekend, and it's not leaving us as we begin a brand new work week. A flash flood watch continues for coastal sections of Georgia and then into South Carolina. You saw Charleston. That's where we're watching for some heavy rain. Right now, so far, so good on our radar picture. You can see the showers we were monitoring. A lot of that has moved offshore, but we still run that risk. As we head a little bit further to the west, you can see Atlanta on the map. We have overcast conditions mostly. The showers and thunderstorms really will fire up later on south of the front. So we're seeing that in places like Macon and into Columbus. You can also see the rain right along the border there, and in Jacksonville you may face that for the afternoon. For today, it'll be a stormy one as we go through tomorrow as well. Scattered showers and thunderstorms for Alabama. If you're driving on Interstate 10, you may encounter a downpour, and it's not just Monday but Tuesday too. Scattered storms there across Florida as well as Louisiana. Then as we go through Tuesday morning, we'll be talking about how much are we looking at. 2 to 3 inches of rain for eastern sections of Georgia into South Carolina. Charleston, it's going to be a wet week for you, and into Mobile as well. Mark?
And day after day of rain and storms have sparked some pretty dramatic flooding across the country this week. We start things out across the south. Look in Mississippi. This is Horn Lake, Mississippi, and this is talk about the last minute for a dramatic rescue. Watch the car. Mere seconds after this gentleman is able to climb out and grab onto that life buoy, the car's gone. It just absolutely sinks down. It was shocking to me here, Bonnie. The water's not that deep. They're able to walk out. He's just in the worst spot possible. Look at that. Car gone.
It's
absolutely gone.
And that's one of the things about floodwater, that you can't really tell what's beneath. So you may still be in a spot where it's only a foot, and then just a few feet away, it's really deep. So dangerous situation there.
If you can't see the lines on the road, you don't know if the road is still there. And a lot of people in Memphis were taking that risk this week, where dozens and dozens of flood rescues had to occur because people kept driving into this.
That's true. You know, Memphis received record rainfall on Thursday, and roads just were completely covered with water, almost 5 inches there. And then south towards the Mississippi border, they got 9 inches of rain.
It's unbelievable amounts of moisture in the atmosphere, and it all seems to be coming down at once. Speaking of, look at this. Moapa, Nevada, along I-15. Some of the most dramatic video I've ever seen, with a van that gets caught up in the flash flood, is swept into the wash. People try to help them, and boy, what a scary situation here.
I can't even imagine being in that car, just trying to get out. That's one complication, and the other is the car's moving, and then you're going backwards down fast.
Yeah, so the couple and a Good Samaritan right here swept backwards down onto the street below. People are trying to help them. They're getting swept away, torn away from the car because the force of that rushing water was too great to hold on to the car anymore. Just incredible. But the most incredible part, Bonnie, everybody walked away.
That's really amazing and very, very fortunate too.
And you know what? Coming up at 30 past the hour, you're going to hear from the couple who went through that ordeal and went over that ravine, and you don't want to miss that.
No, definitely. But first, we'll talk about a hurricane we're watching, Odile.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that, Parker.
Well, did you know auctioneers make bad grocery store clerks?
It'll be $23.50. Now 75, 23.75. Hold them heading now 23.75, 24. Hey, $24, 24 and a quarter. Now half, 24 and a half and 75 and 25. Now a quarter. Hey, 26 and a quarter. Hold them heading now 20. You want to do it? 5 and a quarter. Sold to the man in the khaki jacket.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Pillsbury pancake batter. Homemade pancakes any day, anytime. Just pour, flip, and serve. Pillsbury pancake batter. Find it in the refrigerated section.
Lowe's presents how to make your guests think they're at the wrong house.
Wow. Told you we're in the wrong house.
Go. Mom!
Now get up to 25% off all Levelor custom blinds and shades.
Hey, pal. You ready? Can you pick me up at 6:30?
I'm here.
Too late.
I'll go for 5 minutes. Move it. Killing me. You know what, Dad? I'm good.
It may be quite a while before he's ready, but our Subaru Legacy will be waiting for him.
The longest-lasting midsize sedan in its class. Introducing the all-new Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
California is known for its grapes, and so is my family. Over 3 generations have taught us about growing the best-tasting fruit. Our grapes ripen on the vine so that the flavors can fully develop, and only the most experienced hands harvest them to bring quality fruit to your table. That's why we work with Walmart. Together, we guarantee you only get the freshest grapes available, backed by their 100% money-back guarantee.
Picked by farmers, guaranteed by us.
Remember the hassle of vacuuming before the Dyson DC-59 Motorhead? Before our direct drive cleaner head increased brush power to out-clean the 5 best-selling full-size vacuums across carpets and hard floors without the hassle of a cord.
Defiance is in our bones. Defiance never grows old. Citracal Maximum, easily absorbed calcium plus D. Beauty is bone deep.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a hurricane.
And just total chaos.
If you think you've seen it all, look again.
Have you suddenly noticed bags, wrinkles, or dark circles under your eyes? Make a sudden change in mere minutes. Sudden Change Under Eye Serum with skin-firming ingredients smooths it all away. Make a sudden change in mere minutes.
When muscle aches or arthritis pain grip you, break the grip with odor-free Aspercream. Maximum strength medicine clinically proven to relieve muscle and joint pain fast with no odor, so all you notice is relief. Aspercream. Break the grip of pain.
You should see what we're doing with our chicken. We're making tacos the Checkers way. Checkers $2 crispy chicken taco box. A soft tortilla filled with crisp lettuce, chicken bites, cool ranch, and warm cheddar. Served with our famous fries. Or go spicy with creamy sriracha sauce. The new crispy chicken taco box, just $2. You'll flip for it. Checkers.
Shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try NoNo risk-free today.
Tonight, the Weather Channel asks, so you think you'd survive a wildfire?
Oh my God, here it comes!
So you think you'd survive tonight at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 86. Chance of rain 40%. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies with scattered thunderstorms during the evening. Low 77. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
back to Weather Center Live as we are looking live at Cabo San Lucas. This picture taken just about a minute ago. Relatively tranquil. You don't get the feeling that the palm fronds are moving too much just yet. No. The ocean doesn't look all that angry at this point. Granted, there's nobody on the beach, so just that tells you a little something as well. Again, Dr. Bosell is here in the lab with me, and this is just the beginning, Doc.
Yeah, it is. Just wait. It's going to get a lot worse there, obviously. I mean, the wind is going to go way up. The waves are going to get much bigger. Cat 4 is on the way. Let's have a look at the latest stats from NHC, the Hurricane Center.
The question may be not if the palm fronds are moving, but if the palm fronds are still there after this
They're
goes
still
through.
Standing. Yeah, we've got 135 mile per hour Category 4 moving northwest at 14. This system, the center of it is about, I would say, just a little less than 200 miles to the south-southeast of Cabo San Lucas. Kind of on a track in that way. The actual center may pass to the west of Cabo, but some very bad weather is going to get in there for sure
Look at this. You can almost feel the stadium effect as this eye is wrapping itself up even tighter.
Yeah, what you're talking about is how the clouds kind of lean outward from the center kind of in all directions, and you can sort of see that. If you were to zoom in, you might be able to. And I think this thing is maybe maxed out in intensity, which is good news, but still, it's going to get very bad. And fortunately, the winds right now, Mark, 7 miles per hour. That matches up with the wind you saw in the palm trees.
Exactly, but we're also seeing the high clouds already in place, and that is your warning. If you are not done with your preparations already in Cabo, it's almost to the point that it's too late.
Yes, the real core of the hurricane is in here somewhere, and that's where the winds and the waves pick up quickly. And then even inside of that, there's the eye wall, which is where things get really, really bad, and you need to hunker down as best you can.
Now, all those waves have a direct impact on the ocean surface, and thus, all those winds, rather, have a direct impact on the ocean surface, and thus the waves. Look at these wave heights.
Yeah, these are significant wave heights, almost 40 feet. That means the tallest third of the waves are about that high or higher. So there's some very large waves that are going to be getting in there. The surf conditions are going to be very destructive, if not deadly, and don't even try to go in the water. The rip currents will be high, and there will be significant storm surge as well.
And although that gradient is pretty tight, it is getting closer and closer to Cabo. And as that eye gets closer, boy, are we going to see the big change in Cabo.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the eye wall is right about there. Now, if they get in that eye wall, and they might, Cabo, for example, they would see hurricane force winds likely over 100 miles per hour. But if they don't, I think the winds drop off pretty quickly beyond that. Still bad winds, but God, if they can just get away from that eye wall, they'll probably make out okay.
The positioning of that eye wall could be problematic, too, because it does mean south. I mean, it's directly pointed at the Baja.
Yes,
like
that's
just
right.
Straight on in.
Right. A clear fetch of flow off the water, unobstructed, bringing in high surf and elevated sea state.
So the waves and the rip currents and the beach erosion a factor, but so much rain will be falling. You'll see flooding inland as well, although it's a thin inland for the peninsula, right?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of rain. There's no doubt about that. And as we move farther to the north, this thing is going to weaken. That's good news. A 45 mile per hour hurricane by Thursday, but as we've said over and over again, watch out southwest United States. Not for a tropical cyclone directly, but for the circulation of very moist air and potential flooding around it beginning midweek.
That moisture starts to go in on Tuesday. Bonnie, over to you.
Well, thanks. The Pacific Northwest definitely feeling the heat today. In Portland, you'll see highs 88 degrees. Wow, it's going into the 90s though tomorrow. Because of the hot temperatures and dry conditions, a red flag warning is in effect. Dangers are in place for wildfires. Well, that's sparking highs, certainly. People are trying to get relief where they can. Unusually warm, of course. You know, it's not just the west that we're dealing with changes. As we check out the 7-day forecast, lots of changes are ahead for your work week. So check it out, starting off with today and then going right into tomorrow. Notice the enhanced rainfall for the southeast. We could see some powerful storms there popping up in the afternoon. And as we go through Tuesday, that'll be the beginning of a big threat for the southwest. Just, you can see on Wednesday's map, some of the precipitation's just increasing a little bit more over Arizona into New Mexico and for Nevada. And then by Thursday, wow, everything really explodes with the moisture surging from Odile Wednesday and Thursday for southern Arizona. And some of that moisture stretches pretty far to the north as well. We'll be looking at enhanced showers and thunderstorms. We're also looking at the southeast in a prolonged unsettled pattern, while the northeast and the Midwest is looking good for most of the week. So that's some good news. If you're traveling to New England, you're also going to see some changes in the weather, a little cooler for Boston, where Friday's high temperatures will climb into the low 60s. Mark?
Well, a couple's cross-country adventure nearly ended in tragedy.
I backed up to a certain point to get turned around, and then that's when it all started.
Flash flooding swallowed their van this week. When we come back, we are going to hear their harrowing ordeal directly from the couple. That's a story you do not want to miss.
Don't wait for awesome. Totino's Pizza Rolls get you there in just 60 seconds.
It's the Buick. Sir. Buick. Where's the Buick?
Buick. The expectation-shattering Buick LaCrosse.
Experience the new Buick during our NCAA kickoff event and lease this 2014 Buick LaCrosse for around $299 per month.
This time of year, you just need some fertilizer with weed control and a spreader to distribute it evenly. It's not rocket horticulture.
Oh, thank you. It's not rocket grilling either, right, guys?
Getting help at Ace is like going to your neighbor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hang up tires.
All the goodness of milk, all the deliciousness of Hershey's syrup. Squeeze, stir, share.
You make a great team. It's been that way since the day you met. But your erectile dysfunction? It could be a question of blood flow. Cialis Tadalafil for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment's right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is the only daily ED tablet approved to treat ED and symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medications and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sexual activity. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or if you have any allergic reactions such as rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a 30-tablet free trial.
Dentures are very different than real teeth. They're about 10 times softer and have surface pores where bacteria can multiply. Polident kills 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria and helps dissolve stains for a cleaner, fresher, brighter denture every day.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a hurricane.
And just total chaos.
If you think you've seen it all, look again.
You've got to be kidding me.
A new original series, Hurricane 360, Mondays at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under partly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 86. Chance of rain 40%. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies with scattered thunderstorms during the evening. Low 77. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tonight, the Weather Channel asks, so you think you'd survive a wildfire? Oh my God, here it goes! So you think you'd survive tonight at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Concern still growing along a portion of the southern Baja California Peninsula and the American Southwest. We're watching Hurricane Odile powering up in the Pacific, now a Category 4 with very heavy rains that could trigger devastating floods.
Absolutely. Phoenix is facing the possibility of its third major flood event this month. It's incredible for this region.
just absolutely unbelievable rainfall totals that we've seen. Mark Elliott here with Bonnie Schneider. We've been following this story. Hopefully you haven't been caught up in the flooding, and we want to see what you are caught up in this weekend.
That's true. We want to know, what are you up to this weekend? The hashtag is your weekend if you want to tweet us. Oh, this one was a tweet from Lisa Singer to me yesterday. This is a view of Central Park outside of her window. I know, fabulous address, right? You can see it was overcast with rain yesterday. That picture looks pretty wet. All right, you know, we're also looking at Atlanta. This picture is from Andretti Race EXP, and it shows an overcast conditions as well. Now, we're watching, of course, Mark, for big changes in the weather for the Southwest with the storm system coming through.
Yeah, just a week ago, we were dealing with just unbelievable rainfall amounts. You're looking live, or well, you're looking at what was live in an Arizona church. They're actually having services in this very church today, despite the worship room being flooded out on Monday from the storms across the Southwest. Right there at that church, they had about 3 inches of rainfall, and of course, it runs into the lower lying areas and piles up, including through those doors right there. That was the flooding culprit. That was the Mountain Park Community Church. Lost all their furniture, lost equipment in the flood. The auditorium was damaged, but the community rallied. People that didn't even go to the church showed up there and started helping. And hopefully we don't need that help again. But we're putting the word out. A flood threat could be on the way for the Southwest again. Here's the situation from last week. We had Norbert tracking along the Baja Peninsula with fizzled out, but the moisture went north into the Southwest. Today, we have Odile, and look at the forecast track. It's almost exactly the same. A very similar, eerily similar situation with the potential for more flooding. Again, last week, portions of the Phoenix area had 3.3 inches of rain in just over 7 hours. It was the most rain ever received on a single day since 1895. Now, we're not saying Phoenix, you're going to see that same thing again. What we are saying is that the potential for someone to see that kind of historic flooding ramps up again this week. It won't happen immediately. It's very dry right now over Phoenix and over Southern California. We are seeing some of the Gulf of Mexico moisture coming in towards the southern side of New Mexico. We'll see that today, scattered storms there, maybe some upslope flow as that moisture comes up the mountains and gets that extra lift because the mountains are here. So you could see a storm or two, but that's just the beginning of the show. Talk about very moist air. This is our Hurricane Odile. This moisture is going to get thrown into the Southwest. So by Tuesday, boy, do things change. The moisture will be pulled northbound into the Southwest, potentially destructive flooding once again. So Tuesday, the storms increase from Arizona into southern New Mexico. Wednesday, Bonnie, that storm threat increases further, including Vegas and Southern California. And Thursday, it gets even worse. Over to you.
Not good news, Mark. You know, this was the scene last week when heavy rains caused flooding in the Las Vegas area. You can see the pictures behind me. It's a new week, but parts of Nevada is once again facing the threat of severe storms and flooding. Reed Wolcott of the National Weather Service in Las Vegas, he joins us now by phone. Reed, how do you expect this week's threat to compare to what came last week?
Well, like you guys just said a little earlier, it's eerily similar. However, there are some differences which could result in massive differences in the areas that do get hit. But we are concerned for the entire region.
You mentioned the differences. Can you describe that?
Yeah, so there's some timing differences between when the core of the moisture moves up across the Las Vegas area compared to with Norbert. There's also differences in the dynamics of where Norbert is versus where Odile is, and then where the trough is that comes off the Pacific.
So do you think this could be a worse situation or not as bad?
It's a little too soon to tell how severe the impacts will be. It's real tough to tell this far out, if this will be worse or not quite as bad.
Residents are still reeling from what just happened. What is the advice that you're giving them in order to handle this week's threat?
Well, there are definitely some flood-sensitive areas like the Moapa area and I-15 that got washed out pretty well, and those areas that are extremely sensitive need to really pay attention to the weather forecast this week.
Do you think that there's still any damage that was done last week could impact what comes in now for this week?
Yeah, there's definitely. I know, like on the Moapa, in the Moapa area, there's still lots of areas that are not repaired and could just get damaged even further from further rains this week.
Reed Wolcott from the National Weather Service, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, won't see as bad of a situation, Mark, as what we saw earlier.
Yeah, absolutely, because it was absolutely brutal. I mean, we had scenes like this playing out last week time and time again because of that tropical moisture.
That's true. And, as Odile moves up the Mexican coast, we could see more scenes like this playing out with the flash flooding. Last week's one couple's cross-country trip turned to a nightmare in a matter of seconds as their van gets swept away, and they shared their harrowing ordeal.
This is the middle of the highway in Nevada.
Interstate 15, northeast of Las Vegas. 4 inches of rain in just 2 hours turned the road into a flood zone.
Yeah, there's a car coming. That guy just got swept up in the water. Holy.
Inside that van, a couple from California. Their fight for survival about to begin.
We went backwards down a free fall from the top of I-15 way down. There's a road down there on that overpass, under the overpass. So we went backward down there. It's scarier watching the video we've seen now.
Lauren and Margie Miller were trapped, the murky water rising, forcing them to make a dramatic decision. Open the doors and climb onto the roof.
I said, hold on, hold on. She said, I don't think I can, I don't think I can. And apparently what I didn't know was the force of the water from her hips on down was just taking her, too strong. And I said, you can do this. And she said, I can't, hold on. And then she was gone.
I've been praying the whole time as soon as I saw we were in trouble. And I just started praying. As soon as I got in that water, I was up and down, getting there and then kind of going under a little bit and getting there. And just praying, Jesus, help me the whole time. I felt the ground beneath me and I was able to start standing up and fighting a little bit. And then I saw a policeman on the road right there and he's saying, come on, you can do it, you can do it.
That police officer pulled Margie to safety while a construction crew used a rope to rescue her husband.
When I dove, it was a great feeling because I could feel my body. Those 4 guys were going up that slope, pulling like crazy, and I could feel my body just keep going like that instead of where I would have been. I was about 12 feet of incredible water, so I wasn't going to make it. When I was on the car, I didn't know. There was nobody that knew or whatever. When I got off, I said, how's my wife? And they said, she's okay. I'm sorry. Anyway, and then I told him, you let my wife know that I'm okay.
And flash flooding like that can happen in the blink of an eye. So what do you do to survive if you're caught?
Well, the Weather Channel's series, So You Think You'd Survive, asked that very question.
Disaster.
Oh my God.
A flash flood of dark, fast-moving mud has just swept your car off the road. Now you're at the mercy of a raging river. And drifting without a paddle.
Oh my God.
If a flash flood swept you and your car away, what would your next move be?
Oh my God.
So You Think You'd Survive? Sunday nights at 9 on the Weather Channel.
It's part of Survival Sunday. So You Think You'd Survive in Fat Guys in the Woods, 9 o'clock.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, partly cloudy, high 86. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 77. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Shot. Let's go Twins right, 24 stretch.
24 stretch, all diamond.
Twins right, 24 stretch.
All diamonds on 2 ready.
Okay.
When the game's on the line.
Hit him with a hard count. See if they'll tip their hand.
The NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
They're blitzing up the gut. Get out of the pocket.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
Let's take this up a notch. Let's get a plan and get it right. So we're not doing any of this. Let's go to school. Let's go to save. And then let's go to town. So we can enjoy the view and look for what's next. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Save 20% on any 2 bags of Scott's fertilizer.
Now, Centrum Silver has a new easy-to-swallow coating. So the nutrients for your eyes, heart, and brain go down easier. For a limited time, get your $4 coupon at Centrum.com.
Can you start tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's share the news tomorrow.
Today we're fairly busy. Tomorrow we're booked solid.
We close on the house tomorrow.
Want one of these opened up? Because tomorrow we go live, everybody.
It's a day full of promise. And often, that day arrives by train.
Big day today?
Even bigger one tomorrow.
When CSX trains move forward, so does the rest of the economy. CSX, how tomorrow moves.
Boston Market has food that makes you feel good, starting at $5.99, with salads and sandwiches, market bowls, and your favorite meals, all featuring our signature rotisserie chicken. Come to Boston Market today, where good food meets fresh thinking.
Missing a deadline? Will I get there in time? Am I going too fast? Did I close the garage door? Stay in your lane. I don't think I sent that email. I should make a reservation. I thought it was clear. Okay, brake. I didn't see that coming.
Its instinct to protect leaves you free to drive. Lease the Infiniti Q50 for $339 a month. Visit your local Infiniti retailer.
Flight 294 is now boarding.
Looks like we're about to board.
Mm-hmm. I'm just comparing car insurance rates at Progressive.com.
Is that where they show the other guys' rates too?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hi. Final call for Flight 294.
Who's ready for the garlic festival? This guy.
Bringing our competitors' rates to you. Now that's Progressive.
Check out all these airline seats. Lots of them, right? But when you try to get one by using your travel rewards card miles, those seats mysteriously vanish. Why? All the flights you want are blacked out, or they hit you up for some outrageous number of miles. Switch to the Venture card from Capital One. With Venture, use your miles on any airline, any flight, anytime. No blackout dates. And with every purchase, you'll earn unlimited double miles. Now we're getting somewhere. What's in your wallet?
Believe it or not, it's been almost a year now since the small mountain town of Lyons, Colorado was torn apart by historic flooding. One group instrumental in helping residents there recover was the First Response Team of America. As our Maria LaRosa tells us, the team recently went back to Lyons to catch up with a homeowner whose home was buried in mud.
We're on our way to Lyons, Colorado. Last time we were here, this place looked like a ghost town. Main Street was just covered in stone and mud. Most of the roads were either washed away or blocked. And now it's nice to see that things look normal again. Businesses are open, people are outside, they're enjoying Main Street again.
A mile or so from Main Street, Carl Cray is trying to enjoy his home again, but it's hard. A year ago, the flood transformed the gentle creek meandering past his property into this raging torrent. Trees he loved were ripped from the banks, and his cherished gardens suffocated beneath the thick mud.
It's hard to even remember what it looked like, but it was natural. It was just a stream. I don't know that it'll ever come back.
Today, cleared of mud, Carl's gardens are slowly coming to life. In the aftermath of the flood, a chance encounter with the first response team and their heavy equipment started the rebirth.
I just came across him in town. I said, man, I need that machine. An hour or so, he was here.
We knew that if we began right away and brought all of our resources in, we were going to be able to help him get back on his feet.
The team spent days on the property, digging a brighter future for Carl.
Without you guys, I wouldn't have made it.
Much has changed here since the flood, including the stream Carl loves so much. It has found a new path too far away to enjoy from his porch.
This is not what I looked at, not down to the river with the flowers and the grass and the banks.
Not close enough to help him regrow much of what he lost.
If you have water, you have life. If you don't have water, you have nothing.
The flood has left Carl yearning for the past, and just like the creek, forced to forge a new way forward.
He went through a devastating experience, and he still has quite a bit of road ahead, but like so many people we meet, he's strong, and he's thankful for another day.
He sure is. It's nice that he appreciates what he has.
Yeah, and that First Response Team of America is amazing. You can go to weather.com/responders to learn even more.
That's true. You know, it's not every day we talk about a phenomenon happening in Alaska. Well, today we have two of them.
Yeah, let me explain. This weekend, millions of people across North America snapped photos of this. The Aurora Borealis made a triumphant return. Coming out of a solar flare, you had all those charged particles slamming into the Earth's atmosphere. And look at the color show.
I know. It's incredible when you look at these pictures, and you have to keep in mind that these pictures shot in Alaska were taken in the middle of the night because the peak time for viewing is around 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, the darker it is and the further away from city lights, the better. Plus, depending on what's actually in the atmosphere, you see different colors. That green, the typical color, is low-level oxygen. To get red, you need upper-level oxygen, and the purples are actually from nitrogen atoms that are being hit by those charged particles.
It's true, and we're really getting to see all the colors in here. We have other pictures to show you. Look at this. This one on the left. This was actually both are shot in Fox, Alaska. That's about 12 miles north of Fairbanks. Fairbanks apparently is the best place to see the aurora. So again, terrific vantage point and brilliant colors.
Just gorgeous. You got the fall colors, the leaves up there already turning, plus the aurora. And how about this as a wedding photo?
That is so romantic.
Right? I mean, you always say that when you get married, it's like a celestial event.
Right.
But in this case, it really was.
It's almost like a window into their imagination.
And it's not the only thing we were watching in Alaska. We're bringing in Dr. Greg Postel because of just a huge storm in Alaska almost at the same time.
No, I know. You know, if the tropics don't get your weather juices flowing, this should, because this is a monster extratropical cyclone near the Gulf of Alaska. In other words, just a big old sort of fall storm out there bringing huge winds to Alaska. Look at that thing wrap itself up. My goodness, it brought some big winds into Alaska yesterday. There were wind reports over 80 miles per hour, but here are a couple of them. We may have 80-mile-per-hour winds tonight in Cabo San Lucas with Hurricane Odile. Stay tuned for all the latest right after the break.
Responding by storm, powered by Ram Trucks. Guts, Glory, Ram.
The powerful and efficient 5.7-liter Hemi V8 with 22 highway miles per gallon and 395 horsepower.
Come with me now. Come with me now. Come with me now.
How far you take it is entirely up to you. Guts, Glory, Ram.
Come with me now.
Can this decadent fruit-top pastry with indulgent streusel crumble be from Fiber One? Fiber One streusel. Available at Walmart.
I'm Creek Stewart, Weather Channel survival expert. Every Sunday night, we're taking 3 regular guys deep into the woods.
Are you serious?
Where we'll teach them not just to survive,
make fire,
but how to truly live.
Look at this caveman.
Show yourself what you're made of on Weather Channel Survival Sundays. At 9, it's So You Think You'd Survive. Then at 10, Fat Guys in the Woods. Every Sunday night on the Weather Channel.
Are you ready?
Off the couch, into the weather.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, partly cloudy, high 86. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 77. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Awesome! I've been Claritin Clear for 8 days.
At the first sign of your allergies, doctors recommend taking one Claritin every day of your allergy season for continuous relief.
21 days. 14 days of continuous relief.
Live Claritin Clear every day.
Get relief with Claritin. Live Claritin Clear.
More Doritos and Pepsi. This party is complete. Oh, come on. Why are you throwing in a double coverage when your Z is wide open on the deep post?
And that's why I'm mad at you.
Stock up for game time with Walmart's unbeatable prices. Guaranteed by Savings Catcher. Walmart. Save money. Live better.
This is a Pip.
It's part of a Hershey's bar.
We break it.
We bite it.
We sneak it.
We smush it. We savor it.
We love it.
Hershey's is mine. Yours.
Our chocolate.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time.
We could, mess with the world.
Lowe's presents how to install a new washing machine with one finger.
Maybe a little more that way.
Nice.
Now get 10% off all major appliances, $3.99 and above.
From residential to commercial, from large loss to emergency response. Whenever damage strikes, call on the cleanup team that's faster to any size disaster at 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
You're finally here. Long way from the Sandlot. First game in the majors? You don't know ARP, because this family is enjoying a cross-country baseball stadium trip they planned online at AARP Travel. It's where your journey begins with inspiration, planning, booking, and hot travel tips from real pros. If you don't think, seize the...
At the Watershed, we believe in recovery. We believe that every alcoholic and addict deserves the opportunity to be healed. Our team of addiction professionals will address the underlying causes of your addiction while treating you with dignity and respect. We've helped thousands of patients recover from this seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. Addicts can recover. Addicts do recover. No matter how hopeless the situation seems, the time to get help is now. Call the Watershed today.
For my new kitchen, do I want traditional or contemporary? Range or cooktop? Electric or gas? 36, 48, or 60? Side by side, over and under, French door, integrated or built 18, 30, 36, or 48 single or double, red or black? What about wine storage? What kind of hand convection? What about ice?
Our experts turn questions into answers at the Sub-Zero and Wolf Living Kitchen.
Try again, but hurry. Supplies are limited. That's 1-800-580-3468.
You can't shoot me.
Why not? You're not one of the good guys.
The Blacklist returns September 22nd on NBC.
Cabo San Lucas right now, the waves picking up and really awaiting the arrival potentially of Hurricane Odile. I'm here in the lab with Dr. Greg Postel, and really this hurricane is incredible in terms of intensity.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, the good news is I think it's got to be near max intensification or intensity, because there are signs on the satellite pictures that it has reached its peak, but it's still going to be very bad, we think, in Cabo. So that picture that you saw where it wasn't so bad, where the winds look pretty light and the waves not so big, the waves are going to get a lot bigger and the winds are going to get a lot worse in just a few hours from now.
So looking at the position and where it's headed on now we're looking at the visible satellite, is the eye looks pretty well defined.
Yeah, it is. That's the eye, and that's close to the center of circulation, and it is going to be going in that direction, and it may bypass the center, Cabo San Lucas to the west, but they may be close enough to get into the eastern eye wall, which would be the worst part of all the storm, and that would be about just a little after midnight tonight.
And the hurricane force winds extend pretty far and wide. I mean, looking at the size of this storm.
Yeah, it is pretty big. It's got a big cloud pattern here, but the hurricane force winds extend outward only about 45 miles. And even right now, the winds aren't so bad, but that's really not a fair sort of measure of how bad the storm is, because right in here, this is the core of the hurricane, and that's where everything goes bad very quickly, where the winds will pick up and the waves will get much bigger.
So speaking of the waves, when can we expect the waves for the people in Cabo to really start rising? We saw that picture earlier that looks a little rough.
It does. I think about now, and then you're going to start to see it really pick up, say, in the next 3 to 5 hours or so, and then the waves will be at the highest levels sometime around midnight tonight. And we can track it using the radar showing you where the center will likely be, say, at 2 a.m. Eastern.
Looking at this future radar picture, on this model, the eye is offshore, but really it's uncertain because it could wobble.
It could wobble, and a little bit of a wobble makes a lot of difference, because if Cabo gets in that eye wall, they will have hurricane force winds likely over 100 miles per hour. But if they are somehow able to miss it, the winds will rapidly decrease off on the eastern side. So that would be a good thing, and we can only hope for that. Too early to tell exactly where it's going to go.
Baja is a very skinny peninsula.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you think the topography and the size of the peninsula will affect the intensity of Odile?
Well, the good news is, you know, it's going to be over land. At least some of the circulation will be on its northward track. And the other piece of good news is that very, very few people live here. So it's relatively unpopulated, and hopefully that land interaction will slow down the wind speed with the friction, and that will help weaken it. But also, as it moves northward, it's going to be moving over cooler and cooler waters, and that will help weaken it too. But we still have to watch out for this impact tonight. Watch these winds move into Cabo tonight.
Yeah, this is a great graphic because it really shows the intensity of the winds, how strong they are, and how close it comes on this model to Cabo. But unfortunately, it's not just a wind event for Baja. We're also looking at the threat of a major flood for the southwest.
There will be significant storm surge along the that side, along the south side there, and potentially also on the east part of the southern tip of Baja. So they've got all kinds of hazards to worry about. And then if that weren't enough, you know, there'll be a remnant circulation that gets far enough northward and a moist flow of air bringing potentially some significant rains into the southwest by the middle of this week.
Just after another huge event there.
Yep.
Dr. Postel, thank you so much. Mark, we're watching this very carefully because so much of the country in the southwest impacted.
Yeah, and we'll continue to bring updates on Odile throughout the afternoon. Of course, also this afternoon, it's the second round of your NFL Sunday games, and the weather will be a factor for these more so than what has already started off. Today at 4 o'clock, you have hit-or-miss thunderstorms as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers host the St. Louis Rams. If there's not a thunderstorm during the game for a delay, there may be on your drive home, so keep that in mind for your planning. A very hot game for the Denver Broncos as they host the Kansas City Chiefs, who could have some cramping and maybe some heat exhaustion, and wind will be a factor as the Jets go to Green Bay. Southwest winds 15 miles per hour. Fat Guys in the Woods coming up next, but stay with us. We're going to have updates on Hurricane Odile throughout the day and evening as the National Hurricane Center puts out new advisories.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. this afternoon. Partly cloudy, high 86. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 77. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Not only are we watching some of the moisture from Odile heading towards the west, we're also watching what's already in place in the west, which is some very hot temperatures. Western heat for the early portion of the week will be extreme and potentially life-threatening. Right now, already early in the day, downtown LA at 93, the Inland Empire in the upper 90s to near 100. Because of this, heat advisories in the red and excessive heat warnings in the purple are already in place. You gotta limit that outdoor time. Look at the temperatures. It's warm right on through the Sacramento Valley and the Southwest. Phoenix at 94, San Diego at 82 right now, and it's only going to get warmer as the day goes on. In fact, today you'll top out almost 15 degrees above average in Los Angeles and close to 100 degrees in Sacramento, which is more than 10 degrees above average for this time of year. That trend continuing tomorrow. The heat all the way into the Pacific Northwest where there's not a lot of air conditioning. Again, don't forget, we're giving you updates on the tropics right on through the afternoon.
The snow's coming down, and none of us are really in that great of a mood as we go on yet another trek to check the deadfalls.
I never had to experience hunger pains like this before.
When the temperatures are like this, man, our bodies are burning energy like crazy.
Nothing.
Strike three.
Are we out?
We're out.
I'm cold and I'm hungry. Out here, I'm in hell.
For thousands of years, man lived wild, and our triumph over Mother Nature defined who we were. We were rugged, we were strong. And as we evolved, our ingenuity led to towering achievements. We secured our place at the top of the food chain, and now we have the waistline to prove it. I'm Creek Stewart. I'm a survivalist, and this is your midlife wake-up call. So get off the couch and come out to the woods. If you can survive a week with me, you can take on anything. Survival is simple. Just don't die.
We are in a really magical place this week. The terrain is dotted with primitive rock shelters and remnants of stone tools and artifacts from Native American Indians who used to settle in this area. And I'm waiting on 3 guys who are on their way to the edge of the wilderness.
Why'd you come out here?
Man, 'cause I'm crazy.
Rock is a 32-year-old factory worker originally from Memphis, Tennessee. Rock's a smoker, but this week he's gonna go cold turkey and hopefully put that vice behind him.
Have you ever gone out in the woods camping before?
A long time ago.
Dan's 41 years old, and he's already accomplished a lot coming into this experience.
I've been through a lot of stuff with injuries and health issues.
Dan used to be in a wheelchair because he weighed almost 500 pounds. Now, 200 pounds lighter, Dan is pursuing his childhood dream of becoming a professional wrestler. And he came to the woods to keep pushing himself.
When they dumped me out in the woods in the Marine Corps, they dumped me out in the woods with everything I needed.
Jeff is a 39-year-old guy at a crossroads in his life. Over a decade ago, he moved from Maine to Nashville to hopefully make it in the music biz, but has been working a 9-to-5 job ever since. Jeff just lost his job, and now he's got a big decision to make. Go back to work for the man to support his family, or pursue his dream of music. Everybody's got an opinion on what Jeff should do, but this week, he's here to figure it out on his own. Hello.
Hey.
Creek.
Good to meet you, Dan.
Dan, pleasure.
Jeff.
Nice to meet you, man. Who we got here?
Rob.
Hey, Rob. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
Welcome to the edge of the wilderness, fellas.
It feels like the edge.
This week, we'll spend the first few days training together, and then you'll be spending one night solo where you'll have to survive on your own. Before we take off out of here, I have each of you a backpack. Inside, you have a funky-looking tool that looks like this. You're going to be drinking all of your water this week through this filter. Secondly, you'll be getting a survival knife. That's all you get, fellas.
I noticed we're missing toilet paper.
Remember the word resourcefulness. You know, that's the theme of the week. Follow me. survival priorities always stay the same: shelter, water, fire, and food. These rocks are massive.
That's insane.
Our most important survival priorities have to happen today. We've got to get shelter and we have to get fire before nightfall. There are no other options. Just on the constant lookout for a good shelter spot. Water and food come later on the list of survival priorities. Today, we've got to check off fire and shelter. You know, I'm actually looking at this spot right here, man. You see how that log's falling across those two rocks?
What makes this a good location for you?
Right here, we've got almost 3 walls. I'm thinking sheltering right inside this trench. Take logs like this one right here, lay these across, put leaves on top of it. We'll build a big fire out front here that warms up these rocks.
Just the shelter over your head at home. You take